Naruto opened a pet shop in the ninja world. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 351. When the line stretched out as far as the eye could see, Zin took out a microphone that Qing had given him. Ahem. He tested the volume, and everyone present fell silent out of respect. First, let me tell you the new rules on behalf of Mr. Qi. Number plates will be distributed every day, from 1 to 100. If you inject chakra in front of the number plate, it will be directly bound. Enter in batches, and each batch will receive 10 guests. Secondly, the number plate is bound to chakra, so it will not work if you change people. Finally, when it's almost your turn, the number plate will remind you to come and wait in advance, so you don't have to wait here. Just do what you need to do. That's all. After the letter was briefly explained, the distribution and binding of the number plates began. Qing counted the first 10 people and let them enter the store first. Number plates will be distributed starting from number 11. In other words, Zin found that he had wasted 10 cards. When binding the chakra, someone hesitated for a moment, and it was obvious that he was a substitute who accepted the task. After inputting the chakra, the person's current appearance appeared on the number plate. Among them, several people were also found to have seized positions by using transformation techniques. This type of letter was skipped directly. After all, Zin was working for Qing, so even if someone was dissatisfied, they wouldn't dare to get angry. When the number reached plate number 100, Zin stopped and said to the people behind him, "For the guests who didn't get a number plate today, Mr. Qi hopes that will not block here, which will affect the entry and exit of ordinary villagers." Qing actually opened another door specifically for pet emergencies. Although there was no one guarding the door, an emergency bell was set at the door and waved to the boy, "You don't have to stand at the door all the time. After all, we have to wait for the 10 customers in the store to leave before letting the next group in. It will probably take an hour to stand all the time. How tiring it is." His life, but now he is just doing simple chores. Mr. Qi has been very kind to him. Seeing him like this, Qing's clone blinked and said nothing more, but moved a chair for him. "Sit down if you are tired." "Thank you." Input chakra into the number plate, and the number plate immediately turned into ash and dissipated. What does this mean? Number 11's eyes widened. The people behind also saw it and were waiting for an explanation. It means the verification is successful. The number plate exploded on the spot. Not very lethal, but extremely insulting. When guest number 20 was about to explode and Zin was about to chase him away, the Uchiha people instantly appeared beside him, one on the left and one on the right. "Leave it to us from now on, no need to bother Mr. Qi." After saying that, he took his people away. The people at the back looked at each other in bewilderment. Someone at the front of the team quietly left, obviously having something to hide. Only then did Zin realize the practicality of the number plates. They did make things much fairer, but any temporary rules would always have loopholes. For example, originally, to hire a ninja, one only had to queue up, but now, the ninja who accepted the task was allowed to bring his summoned beast in directly and buy things for him. But this is nothing, it is also a normal transaction. This avoids the possibility of people who did not queue up scrambling for number plates, and overall, it makes the order much more stable. Vacant numbers will not be filled again soon. The queue at the door dispersed except for those with number tags. This rule is the same as the number queuing rule used in various halls now, such as banks. Chapter 352. We stopped for an hour for lunch at noon. Qing called Zin into the lounge to eat. When the clones stopped to rest, they rushed into the lounge and snatched the lunch boxes from Qing's original body to satisfy their cravings at the end of the day. Qing finished work earlier today than in the previous few days. At least it wasn't completely dark after he cleaned up the store and locked the door. After closing the door, Qing said thank you for your hard work to his clones and then took them back. The moment several clones returned, a feeling of exhaustion came over me. Qing twisted her aching shoulders. It's time to get off work." "Recovered, you feeling well?" Qing took off the boy's mask, half knelt and looked directly at him. The boy's face was still a little pale, but his mental state seemed to be very good. When the mask was suddenly taken off and he saw Qing's face up close, Zin's heartbeat quickened. No, I feel fine. Compared to the time en route, today can be said to be a day off. As for Qing, as he maintained multiple shadow clones for a long time, his chakra was being consumed every moment. After the clone was retrieved, it seemed to just feel tired. Its strength is really hard to see. Then we can have some meat tonight. Qing thought about the remaining ingredients in the refrigerator, and turned his head to look at the letter. You can order food. Is there anything you want to eat? Was not at home, so the food I cooked before was mainly based on what Naruto liked. Since Naruto was not at home, Qing felt distressed about every meal. Zin thought about it and realized that there was indeed a dish that he had often heard people talk about, but had never eaten. Curry. Qing stretched out the tone and praised Zin in a nervous mood. It's really good. I haven't eaten curry for a long time. Carrots, potatoes, and chicken, and... Qing asked Zin, do you like something sweet or spicy? Decision. Qing quickened his pace and pulled the wrist of the person in front of him. Hurry up, go home and cook. Yes. The temperature of his wrist was burning. The word home was strange and warm to him. In the kitchen, Zin followed Qing and helped the production process, and the feeling he had when waiting for the curry to come out of the pot was something he had never experienced before. My heart is filled to the brim, as if something is about to overflow. I don't know what to call this feeling tomorrow. Zin opened his mouth and swallowed a question. Yes, be careful on the road, go to bed early today. Qing teleported away in front of the letter. Zyod will appear in the next chapter. Thank you for the gifts, babies. Chapter 353. In order not to affect Naruto and the others' practice, Qing kept a certain distance each time he teleported. So, he carried his lunchbox, looked up at the twinkling, colorful lights, and the blue veins on his forehead throbbed. The ladies who were receiving guests at the door couldn't help but gasp when they saw Qing's face. His sudden appearance was noticed by all the ladies waiting for customers at the door. They had received many ninjas, but this time, they didn't know whether they should welcome them. After all, with that face of his, it was hard to tell who was Piao for a moment. And he looked like he was in a bad mood. Are they here to catch a rapist? The sisters whispered in each other's ears. Unable to make up their minds, they all went to look for their leader rapist. That's what we just said. Go over and ask. The ladies pushed and shoved the foreman out. Even though he had received thousands of all kinds of people, the foreman couldn't help but get nervous when standing in front of this young man. Hello, how can I help you? He was sweating coldly, because based on his many years of experience, he was at the handsome young man in front of him, especially angry. I'm here to look for someone. Qing would not vent his anger on innocent people. Facing the staff, he still smiled slightly. The beautiful woman's smile is full of charm, but at this moment the foreman is already sweating profusely because of his words. Sure enough, he is here to catch a rapist. Who is this? Having such a beauty at home is not enough. He also has to go out and have a drink with a lady. The foreman's face showed no emotion, but he was screaming, twisting, and crawling in the dark inside. This, the person you're looking for, do you need us to call him out for you? People often cause trouble in the store, but he still couldn't bear the person in front of him. Thank you for the trouble, but after you find him, just tell me where they are. They are easy to recognize, an old gentleman with long white hair and a blonde boy. Qing said, gritting his teeth, trying not to lose his composure. This. As soon as these words came out, he knew who it was. After all, this kind of grandfather-grandson combination was really easy to recognize. What's more, the white-haired gentleman is a regular customer here. He basically comes to patronize business every day during this period. Excuse me, who are you? Parents, the parents of the blonde boy. Qing clenched his fists so hard that they made a crackling sound. Hiss. He took another breath of cold air. Here, bring your children to drink wine. This is worse than cheating. This is too much. You actually brought your child here to drink and have fun. I'll take you there right now. The foreman was filled with indignation. Qing said indifferently, oh, weren't you the ones who let the child in? Well, we don't have a rule that minors can't enter. The foreman wiped the sweat from his forehead with the back of his hand. Now I have it. Qing chuckled and met his gaze. Yes, tomorrow. No, I'll put up the sign right away, and I guarantee you'll see it before you come out. Haha, don't be nervous, I'll find someone and leave, and I won't cause any trouble to your store. Qing's smile did not reach his eyes. He raised his chin and motioned him to lead the way. The foreman immediately made way for Qing, and when he was almost at the table, he stopped and asked Qing what he thought. "Thank you, just leave it to me from now on." Qing took out a banknote and stuffed it into his hand. The foreman saw the large bill and chased after him. "Sir, if you need help, you can always call us." Qing nodded and said nothing more. There were 5 or 6 ladies at Jiraiya's table. He was hugged on both sides, with one lying on his back, one sitting on his thighs, and 2 more squeezed on both sides. Qing patted the coolly dressed lady behind him. "I'm outside now. I'll make up for it when I get back, or in the early morning, or tomorrow." To my fingers. Chapter 354. There aren't many customers at this time, so they are very eye-catching. When her shoulder was touched, the lady turned back subconsciously. Just as she was about to scream, she saw the young man put his fingers against his chest and immediately covered his mouth. Qing gestured to her, indicating that she should leave first. The lady only responded and stepped aside after seeing the foreman behind the young man nod to her. After the soft touch behind his head disappeared, Jiraiya raised his head, and when he looked into Qing's face, his drunkenness instantly disappeared. The old man jumped up from the sofa, his eyes wandering, and he was obviously guilty. "You? Why are you here?" Qing snorted coldly and didn't answer him. "Where's little Naruto?" Feeling his disciple's low pressure, Jiraiya pointed to the area surrounded by curtains in the corner with sweat dripping down his face. Qing then withdrew his gaze from him, walked over and pulled open a corner of the curtain. Naruto was seen sitting cross-legged in a small space meditating. But the noise around him was so loud that he couldn't concentrate. He opened his eyes when he smelled the familiar smell. When he met Qing's eyes, he was stunned for a moment, then showed joy. "Uncle." Naruto rushed towards Qing. Qing rubbed Naruto's head and said gently, "Close your eyes and cover your ears." Naruto didn't ask any more questions and just did as he was told. Qing picked him up horizontally and gave Jiraiya a glare when passing by him. Jiraiya was not on the right to begin with, so he just followed obediently. Standing at the gate and looking back, I saw a sign saying "No entry for minors" hung below the sign. Qing used his free hand to pinch Naruto's face. "Maybe you are too old to see it." Jiraiya, "Then why didn't those people stop us? Ninjas come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. Others may not know this, but don't you know this either?" Qing said in a cold tone as he walked towards where they were living now. "Uncle." Naruto could tell Qing was angry. His voice was low and cold, as if he was suppressing a rage that was about to explode. Naruto couldn't help but be a little surprised, because he had never seen Qing so angry in Naruto's memory. His uncle was always smiling and calm, and rarely got angry in front of him. However, at this moment, although he did not see it, he could imagine that his uncle no longer had the usual smile on his face, but was replaced by gloom and indifference. "To be honest, I really want to see it. You can put your hands down now." When facing Naruto, Qing's attitude changed 360 degrees. Naruto raised his head and looked into Qing's eyes, observing his expression, which was still the same as before. It was a pity, but Naruto knew that his uncle was still angry, so he took the lead in explaining, "Master Lecture is taking me to practice." Qing raised an eyebrow and glanced at Jiraiya behind him. "Oh? Really? Then what did the master tell you?" Master Lustful said that although the environment there is noisy, what I need to do is to concentrate and get into the state in such a noisy environment. Naruto said truthfully, "I see. When did you start this kind of training?" Qing rubbed Naruto's head. "It just started today, but I just can't concentrate. It's too noisy there, and the smell is pungent." Naruto looked distressed. "My training is still not enough." "No, little Naruto is already great." Qing carried all the way to the hotel and sent Naruto into the bathroom. "Take a shower first. Uncle brought you some curry. Come out for dinner after you're done." Naruto happily went into the bathroom. The smell on his body was too strong and he felt really uncomfortable now. Only Qing and Jiraiya are left. "Master, there are thousands of environments for cultivation. What is the reason that makes you choose the red zone as your training location?" Qing sat in front of Jiraiya with a dangerous smile on his face. "It's this place. This is the place I carefully selected as the most suitable for Naruto." His eyes were wandering. "Master, I handed little Naruto over to you because I trust you. You will definitely not let me down, right?" He put his hand on Jiraiya's shoulder. Of course, of course." Jiraiya looked at Qing seriously and said, "Are you still unsure about my character?" "I feel relieved when you say that." Qing smiled and said, "It seems that I misunderstood you, but Naruto is still young after all, and we still need to pay more attention to the training grounds. What do you think?" "Oh, yes, I will choose again." Jiraiya nodded in agreement. Qing said nothing, but it seemed like he said everything. There is a reason why Jiraiya behaves like this in front of Qing. This story started many years ago when Jiraiya first started taking Qing with him. It's longer today. I'll finish writing and send it to you later as promised. Exclamation mark. Chapter 355. That year, Qing was just a child under 10 years old. He is delicate and beautiful, like a delicate and beautiful doll, and his gender is often misunderstood. Zilly was one of them. Because of his love for his disciple, he damaged Qing's clothes during his training. Qing himself meant to just buy some needles and thread to repair it. After all, he was still very poor at that time and lived a tight life. Jiraiya felt that it was impossible for his disciple to be so shabby, so he waved his hand and bought several new sets of clothes for Qing. His original intention was good, but the bad thing was that he misunderstood Qing's gender at that time. "So I bought several sets of pink women's clothing." Although they were women's clothing, Qing only felt that the colors were too bright, as she only bought them for easy movement. Apart from that, she had no other feelings. He realized he was wearing women's clothing was when he went shopping passing by a clothing store. The moment the boss saw Qing, his eyes lit up and he stopped him. The boss wanted to ask him to be a model for women's clothing. It was also on this day that Qing realized that what he had been wearing was actually women's clothing. Actually, this is nothing. For Qing, who comes from a society that is extremely tolerant of clothing, the style of her clothes is very neutral except for the color. Passed by a street where every store had pink-colored lights. He was approached by many ladies. It was very confusing, but Qing still understood it. His dear master always showed his photo to people everywhere, proudly saying how beautiful and cute his apprentice was. This kind of daddy persona with children is unexpectedly popular among ladies, so they never get tired of it. This is why so many people along this entire Lantern Street know me. Then, one day, Jiraiya found himself inexplicably disliked by the ladies of Lantern Street. Even the store he frequented turned him away. The girl who had been leaning on his arms and pouring wine for him with a sweet smile the day before was now looking at him as if he were the dregs. Unable to drink the flower wine, Jiraiya, who was very good at collecting information, snipped directly into the house he often visited. I also understood that the incident was caused by Qing. Zilly didn't know what Qing had said to them, so he just hurried back to ask the person involved. At that time, Qing smiled tenderly and asked him, "Master, do you know you were wrong?" Jiraiya thought about it over and over again, but couldn't figure out where he went wrong. Qing reminded him, "I feel very distressed that you use my photos to please the ladies." Jiraiya wanted to say something, but under the direct gaze, he could only lower his head and admit his mistake. Qing accepted it happily. "I believe that master is a person who corrects his mistakes as soon as he knows them." After that, Jiraiya couldn't drink flower wine for a whole week. The same is true whether you go to any other town. He couldn't figure out how Qing did it and what he said to them anyway. After this week of punishment, everything returned to normal. His thoughts returned. Jiraiya looked at the curry on the table and swallowed, but it was obvious that he had no share in dinner tonight. Out of sight, out of mind, Jiraiya went out again. When Naruto came out of the shower, Qing was the only one left in the room, and the aroma of curry made his stomach growl. After having dinner with Naruto and chatting for a while, Queen Qing prepared to leave with the extra portion. Just at this moment, a sound came from the window. "It's coming from here, A very familiar smell, This special ending tone successfully made Qing put down his hand that was about to form a seal. The extra chapter is here. Sorry for the long wait. Zyodi is here. Chapter 356. Naruto also heard unfamiliar voices. He slowed his breathing and took a defensive stance. Qing gave him a look that said, "Relax, don't be nervous." Only then did Naruto relax and went over to hug Qing. Ask him silently, "Do you know him?" Qing nodded, stopped Naruto and pulled open the curtain. He made eye contact with a boy with blonde hair and high ponytail. He was wearing Iwagakure's forward protector, but there was a horizontal scratch on it. "Hey." Qing was the first to break the silence. "Long time no see, Zyodi. It's really you." Dieter's eyes widened and surprise was written on his face. His eyes moved to Naruto, who was being hugged by Qing, and he took a breath when he thought of something. "I didn't I didn't expect that you liked this. Qing slapped him on the head. Has your brain been assimilated by your hair color? Naruto blinked in confusion. He poked Qing's arm. Is it uncle's friend? Little uncle? Deidara was shocked again. Shouldn't the baby you always talk about be a little baby? As he spoke, he stepped into the window. Before landing, Qing hit him back. Slippers, don't dirty the floor. Deidara. He took off his shoes obediently and placed them outside the window before entering the house. He is Deidara, and now he is. Qing shifted his gaze to his forward protector, a traitorous ninja from Iwagakure. The people my uncle knows are all very special. Naruto couldn't help but say. When Zyodi and I met, he was much younger than you are now. Qing compared his height. He was very skinny, like a malnourished little monkey. Did it deny it because what he said was true? Deidara walked over naturally and took the lunchbox from Qing's hand. After opening it skillfully, he started eating. This is the taste. I miss it so much. Deidara held his face with a look of enjoyment. Zyodi. Qing pulled Naruto to sit opposite him and looked at him with a smile. You said, Deidara raised his eyes. The black robe with red clouds on his body was really eye-catching. He is Uzumaki Naruto. Qing supported his chin with his hand. I know, your precious nephew, I've heard so much about him that my ears are calloused, Deidara chewed. Qing poured him a glass of water from the teapot on the table. I feel relieved when you know that. He's the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. This curry rice after he had eaten and drunk his fill, Deidara said leisurely. I can't control others, but I won't do anything to him, yet. Deidara stared at Naruto with a somewhat resentful look in his eyes. You are really lucky, huh? Naruto grinned. I think I'm lucky too. Then he rubbed towards Qing again. He pointed at Naruto with disgust. You are still a baby. You are so old but still act like a spoiled child, huh? What does it matter? Naruto didn't care. My uncle said that he would still love me even if I became an old man. He raised his head proudly. Yes, that's right. Qing gently stroked Naruto's head. Deidara was silent, stood up, stepped out of the window, turned sideways and looked back. Thank you for the hospitality, goodbye, then disappeared into the night. He's gone. Naruto blinked. Uncle, how did you and brother Zyodi know each other? Let me think. Qing tried to recall. I forgot how old I was. Heartless at that time. He just ignored me and walked past me. Deidara stuck his head out of the window again, then a hand reached out from behind him and dragged him away. Zyodi flashes chapter 357. Deidara was dragged away. It literally disappeared into the night. But this did not stop Naruto from asking a follow-up question. Brother Zyodi said that the uncle ignored him and stepped over him directly. Qing poked Naruto's forehead with her fingertips. When you are in another ninja country, or an enemy country, and you are on a mission, if you pass by a person lying on the ground whose life or death is unknown, the best thing to do is to ignore him. I'm talking about Naruto put himself in the situation and found it particularly reasonable. What if it was in Konoha? Qing touched Naruto's head and said, then it depends on your own feelings. If you think he is not a bad person, then save him. Even if something happens in the future, you must take responsibility for what you have done. Yet, I understand, uncle. Then how did your relationship with brother Zyodi become better? On the other side, Deidara, who was dragged away by his partner, kept chattering along the way. I was just a kid at the time, and I was almost starving to death, but he just ignored me and walked away. Scorpion. Inside the puppet, I am not interested in your affairs. Fortunately, I had a strong desire to survive at that time. I felt that it was not artistic at all to die like this. Scorpion. Then, he held Qing's legs tightly and threatened with death together with her incoherent words if she didn't give him food. At that time, Qing looked at the skinny boy with dry grass-like hair and tattered clothes and subconsciously thought he was a beggar from Iwagakure. Because he is too thin, his head looks a little big. I couldn't shake him off, and I couldn't really kick him away. If I hadn't seen a strange mouth on the child's palm, I really wouldn't have recognized his identity. Qing quite admired Deidara, but he became conflicted when he thought that he would take Gaara's life in the future. In the end, he was defeated by Deidara, who was just a child at the time after all. According to the normal trajectory, He would be able to live to adulthood even without this meal from me, but Qing didn't expect that he would be pestered by him during a meal. The child was afraid that he would run away, so he held on to his clothes no matter what. Once he got rid of me, he kept chasing me, and even if he couldn't find me, he kept looking for me. If you fall, get up and keep looking. After successfully shaking him off, Qing went on with his own mission, but before leaving Iwagakure he quietly took one more look. Upon closer inspection, the child was lying on the ground, his life or death unknown. Qing squatted in front of him helplessly. Can't you find food for yourself? How did you survive before, then? The kid grabbed him again. It was also at this time that Iwagakure was completely blocked, especially every entrance and exit. Qing escaped the first wave of arrests by taking a detour here. So I stayed like this. Deidara knew many places to hide, and he took Qing to hide for a month. Deidara called his brother. It was also during this month that Qing taught Deidara how to fill his stomach and stay alive. It was not safe for him to stay here. Qing looked at the dog hole with some emotion. He hugged the child before leaving. Ziod, we will see each other again. I will always remember my brother, okay? Little Deidara tried hard to hold back his tears. Later, before Qing completed his last mission, he came to find Deidara when he passed by the Iwagakure village. The child has grown up a lot and has a rebellious look on his face, and is being scolded by the old Tsuchikage. Has gained weight and no longer looks weird with a big head and a small body. After seeing that he was living a good life, Qing left. Actually, I think my brother did come to see me, but he just didn't show up. I felt it at the time, huh? Deidara sat cross-legged on his clay bird and looked back at the town where he had just arrived. Scorpion, who had been forced to listen all the way, closed his eyes and did not respond. This month is coming to an end in the blink of an eye. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 358. When Qing returned, the room was dark. But the boy was still sitting in the living room, looking at the bright moon in the sky, his eyes empty and confused. I'm back. Qing amplified the sound of his footsteps. Think, that's better. Qing said with a smile, forget the unhappy things and just remember the happy things. Happy things still happen, it's only happened in the past few years. Thinking of Danzo's wrapped arm, Qing narrowed his eyes. Well, I believe you. The haze of confidence was swept away at this moment, and replaced by expectations for the future. There are more and more foreign tourists coming to Konoha. Qing also lives a life that revolves around home, the store, and Naruto's place. The Genin who entered the finals is practicing hard every day. This was the first time that Naruto and Sasuke had been separated for such a long period of training since they met. And Sasuke followed Kakashi's line, getting longer every day, and the day I've agreed with Itachi getting closer. Qing, who is still busy from morning to night and has endless work to do, issued an announcement. The countdown is just 3 days away, and after 3 days, we'll have a week off. There was a lot of noise, but Qing remained unmoved. 3 days later, the rest sign was hung and people left Konoha overnight. As for Zin, he got a vacation and the task of looking after the house. Not long ago, Sai came to the pet shop quietly. He saw Zin, who was cleaning the room. Although he couldn't see his face, Sai recognized him at a glance. After staying for less than half a minute and confirming that his brother was fine, Sai left. Before going to the land of hot springs, Qing went to find Naruto. Naruto has already learned the Rasengan and is thinking about how to improve it. Jiraiya was both pleased and jealous of Naruto's talent. His talent makes me jealous. But she couldn't suppress the upward curve of her lips. How could I be bad if I inherited the excellent genes from brother Shuman and sister-in-law? Qing's eyes were also full of pride and pride. Alice. Speaking of Minato and his wife, Jiraiya couldn't help but sigh. If they were still alive, how comforted they would be to see such a boy. Qing. He was struggling over whether he should tell her that his brother and sister-in-law were not dead yet. He opened his mouth, but decided to keep the matter to himself for now. If you have time, please look for Lady Tsunade's whereabouts. Jiraiya raised an eyebrow. Why? Being. Jiraiya straightened his face and said, did you hear any rumors? Uncle Snake was mixed in with the examinees last time, and who knows what he will be next. He might be a daimyo or a certain cage. Speaking of Orochimaru, Jiraiya also fell silent. After all, there was no guarantee that he would do something if he went crazy. I understand. I will stay in Konoha during this period. Jiraiya didn't want anything to happen to the teacher. So what does this have to do with Tsunade? Qing blinked and said, "Be a human being, master. The old man is old, and it is time for him to retire. This position will either be you or Lady Tsunade." Jiraiya. That makes so much sense, I can't refute it. In order to continue to roam freely, Jiraiya chose to look for Tsunade's trace. Chapter 359. On the other side, Naruto had used up all his chakra and wanted to just lie down on the ground. But halfway through lying down, he caught a glimpse of his little uncle smiling at him. Instantly, he did a backflip and sprinted straight up. Uncle Qing spread his arms, steadily caught the small cannonball that rushed over, then lifted it up and spun around in place. "Baby, did you miss me?" "Yes. I miss you so much. Even more than my uncle misses me." Qing scratched Naruto's nose lovingly. "Whose little sweetheart is so talkative?" "Your family, your family, your family." Naruto hung on Qing. Jiraiya on the other side watched the whole process coldly, turned his back without any emotion in his heart, and even wanted to summon the Toad Boss to accompany him. After these two shameless guys had had enough of each other, Qing Naruto took to sit down and took out today's lunchbox. "The thing is, Naruto, your uncle won't be able to come to see you for the next week." He placed the sumptuous lunch on the large stone that he had smoothed to use as a table. "Eh? Why, little uncle? Where are you going?" Although the person was still in front of him, Naruto had already started to miss Qing. Naruto's eyes widened. "Will I still be the one that little uncle loves the most when he comes back?" Jiraiya clicked his tongue. "What date takes a week? Prepare to give my boyfriend an unforgettable coming-of-age ceremony." Qing couldn't help but curl her lips and reveal a shy smile. Jiraiya, whose eyes were dazzled by this smile, remained silent. "Wow. Itachi's birthday is coming soon." Naruto has always known about the things between Qing and Itachi, but they just kept it secret and never made it clear, so he pretended to be ignorant. "So, you knew it." Qing still felt very shy after being exposed in front of him. Jiraiya. Silence is today's Cambridge. Disciple, I have no other requests. You must be the one who wins the honor. Qing was embarrassed. "Master, you are old, so don't get involved in the affairs of us younger generations. Promise me. Otherwise how am I going to explain to Minato?" He noticed that the atmosphere between Naruto and the second boy of the Uchiha family was not right. Naruto, this little fool, obviously can't compete with the second kid of the Uchiha family. He can't just watch the younger brother and son left behind by Minato get married. Master, I didn't expect that you are still so pedantic after traveling all over the ninja world." Qing took the master's hand disappointedly. "In front of two true hearts, whether it is higher or lower, it doesn't matter. You don't understand." "Of course it's important." Jiraiya almost roared. "You idiot. I don't care, you have to fight for your reputation. Marry the Uchiha boy home, that's no problem. Itachi doesn't want to inherit the family business anyway, so it doesn't matter who marries." Qing couldn't help laughing when thinking about Itachi wearing a wedding dress at the wedding. "I'm leaving first, master. Little Naruto will be in your care for the time being." Jiraiya looked at the receding figure, feeling very disappointed. "Look at how worthless he is." "Master, why do you say that to my uncle?" Naruto popped his head out. Jiraiya curled his lips. "Your favorite uncle loves someone else now, aren't you anxious?" Naruto shook his head and grinned. "I'm very happy. This way, my uncle will have more memories in this world." As soon as these words came out, Jiraiya fell silent. He stared at the boy's son-like smile and couldn't help but laugh along. "You always surprise me again and again." He put his hand on Naruto's head and rubbed his hair vigorously. "Come on, I'll teach you another powerful move." "Really? Great." I went on a date. The extra story about the date in Hot Spring Country has already been written, so I will just skip it. Chapter 360. The day after saying goodbye to Qing, Naruto's hotel room welcomed two guests. Naruto was still asleep when there was a knock on the door. He rubbed his eyes and opened the door half asleep. When he looked up, a tall figure blocked his view. "Kindly, would it be convenient for us to come in?" Naruto turned his head and saw Itachi, who was blocked by Kisame. He said in surprise, "Itachi brother." Itachi nodded. "Long time no see, Naruto." Naruto turned aside to let them in. Why are you here? Uncle just left yesterday. Did he come to look for you? By his hair, felt a little hot. There are still a few days until the time we agreed on. Itachi took off his shoes and entered the house first, glancing at Kisame what he meant, shrugged helplessly, and took off his shoes. I see the uncle set off yesterday. Naruto went to prepare tea for them. Is this Uncle Itachi's friend? Naruto looked at Kisame. We're partners. Kisame answered the question for Itachi and grinned. My name is Kisame, nice to meet you Uzumaki Naruto. The Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, and the family of Itachi's lover. Kisame glanced at Itachi calmly. Itachi took a sip of his tea. I was passing by here and heard that a white-haired man and a blonde boy showed up here recently. I thought it might be you, so I came to say hello. I'm practicing in this place with Master Lecherous Sage. I haven't seen Brother Itachi for a long time, and Sasuke is still talking about you. The last time he saw Itachi was many years ago. Naruto held his face and looked at Itachi's current appearance. Itachi-kun is really getting more and more handsome. It must be because he looks more like Aunt Mikado. Then he frowned and said with some concern, Brother Itachi, you look so bad. Are you feeling unwell? You still have dark circles under your eyes. Are you taking good care of yourself? Based on Itachi's understanding of Sasuke, the words Sasuke said about him were probably not good things. Thinking of his brother complaining to Naruto about himself, Itachi couldn't help but want to laugh. I'm fine, we should leave now. Say hello to Sasuke for me. Just as they finished a cup of tea, they got up and left. Well, okay, Itachi-kun, take good care of yourself. Naruto found a scroll and unsealed it, which was a rice ball that was convenient for taking out. This is made by my uncle. One copy was given to Itachi and one copy was given to Kisame after leaving. Kisame looked at the rice ball in his hand, feeling a little subtle. Has Mr. Itachi softened his heart? Jiraiya is nearby. It's not worth it to take action here. Itachi glanced at him and said, tomorrow, I will act alone. That's true as expected of Mr. Itachi. You are very thoughtful. Are you going to see your lover? Kisame didn't forget the agreement they made when they met last time. Speaking of which, Mr. Itachi's birthday is coming soon yet. Itachi just responded. It didn't matter whether Kisame believed the previous words or not. I see. I'll wish Mr. Itachi a happy birthday in advance. I'll come find you when the time comes. Kisame changed direction. I wish you a happy birthday. And headed for the agreed location. When Jiraiya came back, he found a strange smell in Naruto's room. He jumped in through the window and looked around. Has anyone been here? Yes, it's Itachi and his partner? An uncle named Kisame. Jiraiya's face turned pale and he turned Naruto over several times. Are you okay? Naruto was confused. No, they drank their tea and left. I'm glad you're okay. Jiraiya was both relieved and worried. Fortunately, Naruto was lucky enough and nothing happened when facing these two S-rank rebel ninjas. I am also worried that Itachi will not be held accountable by the organization for his obvious letdown. The meeting between Naruto and Itachi happened earlier. Chapter 361. After a pleasant holiday, Qing said goodbye to Itachi and went straight to Naruto. Naruto was meditating beneath a waterfall, and the first person he saw was Jiraiya. Indeed, the sweet smile gave the old bachelor Jiraiya a sharp poke in the heart. Qing had other things to deal with, so when he saw that Naruto's side wouldn't be finished for a while, he went back first. With only a few days left until the finals of the Chunin exams, he had promised the Sandaime that he would take on security duties for the day. Konoha, hey, you're back. The third generation raised his eyes, with a sour tone. Did you have fun? I'm happy. I have to thank Grandpa for his help, Qing said. I will lead the team to repair the barriers in the village from now on. As soon as these words came out, the three generations of harsh faces turned into loving. I'm already this age? I'll be relieved if you're happy. Then, he took out a map and a list and gave them to Qing. Choose a few people to help you. That's fine. However, Qing didn't look at the list and directly named a few familiar people. Tianzang, Izumo, Tz. These three will be enough. My best friend. The third generation raised his eyebrows. Ah, it's Ziti. Qing corrected, but I still like to call him Tz. It's more intimate. Tetsu. Tetsu and Izumo will both be on duty, so please confirm the time and let them adjust. Qing looked at the clock on the wall. It's still early today. Let's start after the sun goes down. He opened the map, glanced at it and put it away. Finish it before dawn tomorrow. The efficiency third generation narrowed his eyes and said, Then I'll leave it to you. In Konoha, when it comes to the use of barriers, Qing is second to none and no one dares to claim to be first. It's just that his heart isn't here. Speaking of this, the third generation was heartbroken again. None of the children he favored were willing to inherit his position. Qing, on the other hand, just took a long vacation. After Qing left, the third generation picked out a lot of tasks from a pile of documents. It's all about this final the barrier class and asked them to hold a meeting as soon as possible to list all the recent problems. If you want to know why, the answer is that Qing agreed to do whatever he wanted in the next few days. As soon as these words came out, the leaders of the barrier class and the ceiling class immediately went back to hold an emergency meeting. Qing still doesn't know what he will face in the next few days. He went home first and found that the house was still clean without a trace of dust even though he was away for a few days. The little turtle in the pond is floating on the water, paddling leisurely, looking very comfortable. The weeds under the trees and in the flowers in the yard were all cleaned up, making the yard look much tidier. Qing blinked and called into the house, "I'm back, Zin. Are you home?" 3 seconds after the words fell, the sound of footsteps could be heard from upstairs back. "Have you eaten well these days? Welcome back." Inexplicably, Zin blushed. This feeling of waiting for family at home was very subtle. "Yes, I have made good use of the ingredients you left behind. Today is short, I am still crying outside. Thank you for the gifts from the babies." Chapter 362. Although Zin can't cook, he always believes that as long as the ingredients are cooked, they can be eaten. However, in recent days, he found that the food he cooked was hard to swallow, probably because he had been fed with fine bran by Qing for several days and his taste had become picky. Despite this, Zin was still unwilling to waste food, and would eat it all even if half of the food was burnt. Having endured hunger before, he has always cherished every hard-earned food, so, when the simple ingredients were made into delicious meals and served on the table, Zin was amazed once again. "That's amazing. How did you do that?" It was just a simple miso soup, and Zin made it according to the recipe, but he still found it hard to swallow. "If you want to learn, I'll teach you." Qing started cooking to save money, but later he got used to it and started to like it. "Zin, I learned to relax and stop restraining himself, so he can't cook. After I learn it, we won't be afraid of going hungry anymore." For a moment, he seemed to see his younger self in his previous life in the boy. "It's just that at that time I was alone and had no other concerns." When the time was almost up, 3 people stood on the wall of Qing's yard. Because this time it was a mission outside the Anbu, Tenzeng did not wear an Anbu mask. Qing asked them to wait for a moment while he went to the warehouse to get some things they needed. To be honest, after knowing each other for so many years, this is the first time that Zidi and Chuyun have been so close to Qing's house. They looked around the big house, and then thought about the fact that they were living in a single apartment issued by Konoha. They are about the same age, so why is Qing so successful? With their current salary, it will take several years for them to buy a stable house. Moreover, the air still had the delicious smell of food. Rushed to work overtime without even having time to eat, but Qing was already full. Mr. Qi, be careful on the road. When the handsome young man in an apron saw Qing out, the resentment of Zidi and Izumo was about to materialize. "Did you adopt another child without telling Naruto?" Zidi's tone was sour. They all knew that Qing would not let a guest of Naruto's age do housework unless this peer is one of us. Qing gave him a strange look. Little Naruto knows, although they haven't officially met yet. Qing took the knife bag handed to him by Zin and asked Izumo, who was beside Zidi, "Is he in a bad mood today?" Izumo looked up at the sky. "Maybe it's because I'm hungry." After all, he was quite hungry too. "My friend, you are already this old, would you still be in a bad mood because of being hungry?" Qing was a little surprised. "Fortunately, I guess that you don't have time to eat, so I prepared everything for you." Qing patted his tool bag. "You are an angel, right?" Zidi put away his original expression and stood behind Qing. "Captain, just tell me what to do today." Izumo rolled his eyes at his useless look. Xianzang, who was standing aside silently, couldn't help swallowing when he thought of the last meal before dawn. When Zidi and Izumo received the news about the task of repairing the barrier, shouldn't this kind of thing be done by the barrier team? How come it fell on the shoulders of the 2 who have been guarding the gate all year round? However, they felt relieved after knowing that it was Qing who ordered them. After all, Qing had worked with them many years ago, so they still had a tacit understanding. It's a rare opportunity to work together again, and I'm looking forward to it. We were also prepared for this mission to last 2 days, but I never expected that I would have to do it before dawn. Are you a devil? Zidi's voice trembled a little. You just said I was an angel. Qing showed a harmless smile. Come on, buddy. Once you complete the task, I will ask the third generation master for a day off on your behalf. Zidi feels that he is still capable. The last day of March I still haven't been able to update. I'm sorry everyone. Chapter 363. Hello, my name is Zidi, and I'm a chunin from Konoha. His usual daily job is to guard the gate of Konoha. My partner is a man named Kamijitsuki Izumo, who is as capable as me, and we have a good understanding of each other. I consider myself to be above average in appearance. However, this handsome man named Qing is about the same age as us, but his strength is so high that I can never reach it in my lifetime. It is like a ceiling. If you ask what the ceiling is the place that your hands cannot reach. However, today, Izumo and I were chosen to support the ceiling. No, to support Qing in repairing the Konoha barrier. This was a great learning opportunity for Izumo and I as chunins, at least that's what I felt. The background, looks, and strength, who is like a leading actor, to attack me. Zidi looked at the sky in the distance gradually brightening. He watched Qing finish repairing the last barrier, then he stretched and yawned. The mission is complete, let's disband. You've worked hard, Qing yawned. I've already applied to the third generation master for a day off today. Go back and take a shower. Zidi looked at his receding back with a dazed look on his face. Are you sleepy? Izumo waved his hand in front of him. Tell me, why did he bring us along? Zidi recalled last night. When he arrived at the first barrier, Qing took out a ceiling scroll with complex patterns. He thought important roads were placed inside. As a result, after the seal was opened, a large lunchbox was revealed, which contained a number of delicately shaped triangular seaweed rice balls. Qing said, this problem is not big, it can be solved in a short time, you can eat first. After saying that, he stuffed the lunchboxes into their hands. As for Qing, while they were stunned, he had already formed seals at a speed that was invisible to the naked eye, and then completed and strengthened the protective barrier. However, the reason why the rest of them progressed so slowly was because Qing later slowed down the process so that they could see clearly while explaining things to them. Repair and teaching are both possible. Xianzheng on the side naturally accepted it well and listened attentively. Why are you thinking about these things? Chu Yun slapped Zidi on the back of his head. Since we met, Qing has been like this. That's right. Zidi recalled that since they knew each other until now, they have always been taken care of by Qing. Back then, they had heard of this genius who was on par with Uchiha Shisui before they graduated from the ninja school originally. There should be no intersection between them, but after a chance encounter one day, the parallel lines of fate began to turn. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is special care, as they have learned a lot from Qing. Zidi looked at Chu Yun staring at the direction where Qing left, and couldn't help but feel frustrated. Go back, Based on Chu Yun's understanding of Zitai, he must be in a bad mood. Are you depressed because you are not as strong as Qing? Chu Yun poked Zitai. Why do you have to compete with Qing when you can compete with anyone else? Yes. Anyway, Qing is handsome and capable. It would be a humiliation for a small character like me to compare with him. Zidi frowned, pouted and walked ahead. Wow, it looks like you've been hit hard today. Izumo saw Zidi being upset for the first time in a long time and laughed at him without any hesitation. Under normal circumstances, it would be common for them to bicker with each other. However, this time, Izumo waited a long time for Zidi to retort before realizing that he was really hit hard. I sighed helplessly. I was wrong. I shouldn't have added fuel to your anger when you were in a bad mood. Zidi turned his face away and pursed his lips. Huh? What did you say? Izumo didn't hear clearly what he said, so he walked around in front of him and looked directly at Zidi. Zidi pursed his lips before staring at Chuyin awkwardly and saying, you also think Qing is very strong and very handsome, right? Izumo's eyes widened slightly, and he tried to hold back his laughter and said seriously, he is really strong, and this is a well-known fact. As for handsome, I think it is more reasonable to describe him as handsome. Well, Qing is a recognized handsome man, isn't he? Izumo said. Oh, this is what Zidi replied, but his mood had visibly improved. So this is the kind of relationship they have. This is Xianzheng, who has a very low sense of presence and has witnessed everything. April 1st. Early in the month, I'll give you an extended story about Konoha's gatekeeper. The gatekeeper of Konoha only guards the gate, but not the village. Doghead, Chapter 364. The day after Qing resolved these matters, Naruto and Jiraiya returned to the village. There are still 2 days left until the finals of the Chunin exams. In the last 2 days, Jiraiya let Naruto completely relax, adjust to his state, and face the exam in the best condition. After returning home, Naruto saw that the person who came to greet him was not his uncle, but the new family member Shin mentioned by his uncle. As soon as he returned to the village, Naruto couldn't wait to run home. "I'm back." Naruto returned home after a long absence. He shouted into the house from the entrance and then sat on the ground to take off his shoes. He didn't see his uncle's shoes and knew he had gone out today, but she was not sure about the time. Before leaving, she asked Zen to say welcome home to Naruto when he came back. Even if his uncle was not at home, when he came back he would not be facing an empty house. Someone would respond to his words, "I'm back, and I'm my uncle's nephew. My favorite food is any meal made by my uncle, and my second favorite is Ichiriko ramen. My favorite person is my uncle." Naruto looked at the letter expectantly. It was the first time that Zen faced someone with such a bright smile, and the whole person was as enthusiastic as a little son and untouchable, but now he seemed to have touched the little son. "Nice to meet you." Naruto spoke from the bottom of his heart and Zen could clearly feel it. Naruto's attitude made the reserved Zen couldn't help but relax. He raised the corner of his mouth and said gently, "Nice to meet you. My name is Zen. I also like Mr. Kai's cooking. My favorite person is my brother." A lot to talk about. Moreover, one has an uncle control and the other has a brother control. When Qing came back, he heard them excitedly sharing about their families. The letter said, "My brother is very well behaved and he is especially cute when he smiles." Naruto said, "My uncle is the most handsome man in Konoha. He is recognized by the whole Konoha. When he smiles, loves him and flowers bloom." Teacher Kakashi said that my uncle is the ceiling of appearance. Qing was very pleased that they got along so well, but he still felt ashamed to hear such straightforward flattery. He quickly showed up to interrupt Naruto's increasingly outrageous boasting. "I'm back." Hearing Qing's voice, Naruto and Zen stopped talking at the same time. Naruto stood up first, as if it was a conditioned reflex that had been formed over the years. Before his brain could react, his body had already pounced towards Qing. "Uncle, welcome home." Naruto hung on Qing. He was carrying several large bags, but it was still easy to secure Naruto to prevent him from sliding down. Party starting tomorrow afternoon. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 365. The news that Qing and Naruto would hold a party at home today spread inexplicably. Now, many people in the village come for Qing, because he has been away for a while and they all go to the pet shop but find nothing. Now that he is back, he can find out what Qing lives with just a little inquiry. Everyone wanted to take this opportunity to make friends with him, outsiders wandering around the foot of this mountain. And now the special invitation letter from Qing that Naruto sent has become the only key for entry and exit. This year's graduating class, along with their family teachers, received an invitation from Naruto. Although they have been very busy recently, they have basically handled it all. Looking at this sincere handwritten invitation, they surprisingly didn't even have the thought of refusal. They were very familiar with Qing. Whenever Naruto extended an invitation, he would accept it and arrive on time. The third Hokage looked at the bear boy in front of him, and for a moment, the figures of Minato and Kushina overlapped on him. He rubbed his swollen temples and said, "I'll try to find time to go." That's what he said. I can't be sure, but Naruto is very happy to receive such a reply. After all, the third generation grandfather is really busy. Sometimes Naruto even sympathized with his hair that had turned increasingly gray over the years. "Grandpa Sandame, please hold on a little longer. When I grow up, I will try my best to take over your position as soon as possible." "Oh." The Sandame raised his eyebrows, showing interest. "Are you saying you want to become Hokage?" "Yes." Naruto slightly vigorously. "Why?" He finally heard a junior say he wanted to take over his position. "Why do you want to be Hokage?" The third generation thought that Naruto would say something like wanting to get approval. However, I heard him say, Hokage seems to be very rich. I want to become Hokage and give all the money I earn to my uncle. Third generation. The ups and downs of his mood made the old man of his age feel uncomfortable. You go. Naruto was kicked out. He looked at the closed door innocently. Is this what uncle called menopause? How can you change your face so quickly? No, the third Hokage's menopause has long passed. The speaker was an Uchiha who came to deliver the news to the third Hokage. It can be said that because Uchiha and Qing are very familiar with each other, and Naruto has a good relationship with the second young master of Uchiha, the entire Uchiha also became familiar with Naruto. So, that's how it is. Naruto suddenly realized, Brother Jolie, what's the matter with you coming to see Grandpa Sunday? Naruto just asked out of curiosity. He didn't expect to get an answer to such a thing, but what Uchiha Jolie wants to say this time is not a secret. I'm here to ask the third generation for a mission token. What is that? Naruto had only heard of the mission book. It's to apply for special permission, for example, for the party you're going to hold today, right? Yeah. Naruto took out the invitation from his bag. Brother Jolie, are you free to come and play? Jolie took it and put it in his bag. Thank you for your invitation. I am honored and will make time to play. He agreed and continued, it's like when you hold a party and send out invitations, but outsiders don't know who has the invitations, so in order to find a chance to sneak in, they will grab the ones that already have them, and then, Naruto's eyes widened. He had never thought that this situation would happen. What should I do then? It's our turn now. Jolie opened his hands. The Uchiha guard will not let anyone cause trouble in Konoha. Wow. That's great. Brother Jolie is so reliable. Naruto looked at him with starry eyes, giving him enough emotional value. So, what does this have to do with a mission token? Yes, this is the key point. Because there are many guests from outside this time, after getting the token, it means we have the permission of the third Hokage. We can register the troublemakers and throw them out of Konoha directly. As for what happens next, it will be left to the third Hokage to deal with. Chapter 366. Naruto's eyes widened in surprise. He didn't expect that just holding a barbecue party would cause so much work for everyone. Visibly depressed. Before he could say anything, Uchiha Jolie slapped him on the head with his big hand. Come on, young man, think about it in another direction. What? A big question mark appeared in the little head. As the host of this year's Chunin tournament, Konoha is also the leader of the 5 great nations. Konoha has probably been at peace on the surface for too long. Some people may take this opportunity to do something small, so. Jolie winked at Naruto and knocked on the door and entered the Hokage's office. With Jolie's words, Naruto did feel a lot more at ease. He ran towards the next location. Byakugan open. However, Rock Lee was distracted when he saw Naruto and was hit directly in the abdomen by Niji's Bagua palm. Tenten's hidden weapons were not put away in time, but fortunately, Ningxi reacted quickly and blocked the attack for Lee. Xianshan finally breathed a sigh of relief. Really, Lee? What are you daydreaming about? Sorry. Lee apologized to his friends and ran towards Naruto, a blush on his cheeks. Naruto, are you here to see me? Yes. Naruto admitted it directly and generously. This admission made Lee very happy. His face turned red and he said shyly, what do you want from me? If it's a date, I'm willing. Really? Naruto smiled brightly and stuffed the invitation directly into Lee's hands. Then you must come today. I'll wait for you. We'll wait for you. Waiting for you, yours, Lee held his face and screamed silently, not even noticing when Naruto had walked to the side of Tenten, Niji and the others. When Xianshan saw Naruto coming towards him, he subconsciously became alert as a result. I was touched by the sweet voice of Sister Xianshan. There was no deliberate attempt to get close to someone. It was just a way of addressing someone older than oneself, pure and without any impurities. Xianshan covered it up as if he was shot on the chest by Cupid's arrow. What are you doing? There will be a barbecue party at my house today, and I would like to invite you and Niji-san to come and join us. Naruto handed them an invitation. The voice of Ninja Nini made Ninji frown. Are you usually so clingy? Naruto was stunned for a moment, and subconsciously looked up and down at his body. No, I didn't sweat much today. It's not sticky at all. Niji, no, nothing, I don't have time and I won't go. Niji didn't want to waste his time on such unnecessary things. As a result, just as he was about to return the invitation, he met Naruto's slightly moist eyes. Just like a puppy's lost expression after being refused to play with his owner. Niji, even if you look at me like this. Tenten blocked Niji's mouth and assured Naruto in a coaxing tone, I will take him there on time, don't worry. Really? Will it cause trouble for Niji-san? It seems that Niji-san is too busy. Naruto looked at Niji with evasive eyes. Niji wanted to say that he was indeed busy, but Tenten's eyes were unusually scary today. I am free. Look, he said so. She successfully made Naruto hold back his tears. Shianchin radiated a radiance of maternal love and stood on tiptoe to touch Naruto's head. A lot of things need to be prepared for the barbecue party. We will go to help in advance yet. Sister Shianchin is the best. Naruto lowered his head obediently and let her touch his hair. After Naruto walked away, Lee, who was immersed in his own world, woke up, rushed to his friends, held up the invitation letter and boasted, Naruto sent me a date request. He must like me, and he will agree to date me after the date today. However, Tenten and Niji looked at each other, raised their lips at the same time, and held up the same invitation in their hands. Really? So this is a multi-person date? Niji, who do you think Naruto will agree to date? It's hard to say. Invitation. Chapter 367. Lee was hit hard by the misunderstanding. Shianchin looked at the invitation letter and the time was tonight. Since I promised Naruto, let's do it this way for today. Go home and prepare. We will gather and set off in an hour. Niji, who didn't want to go, frowned, but not wanting to go was one thing because he had already agreed my handsome side today and falls in love with me. Lee's emotions came and went quickly. Look, my blood is boiling again. Might Guy, who was watching from the dark, shed tears. Youth. Kakashi, who came to help Naruto, looked at the Konoha's precious beast. He didn't want to go over and talk to him. He just couldn't understand how the master and the disciple, who clearly had no blood relationship, could look exactly alike. The older and the younger, Hinata was waiting for her at the door of her sister, Hanabi's room. Hanabi, who also received an invitation, was very excited simply because going to Naruto's house meant she would be able to meet Qing. Ever since he was old enough to understand, Qing has been like an idol to Ho-Ho. She envied her sister for being able to come and go freely in her idol's house. But when Hinata asked her if she wanted to play together, she refused with a stern face. A qualified femme should keep the proper distance. Then, why do you want to go out and play today? Hinata looked confused. Of course it's because I received a serious invitation. You wouldn't understand, sister. This is what Hanabi said. Hinata really didn't understand her sister's train of thought, but she knew that her sister was a more talented child than her, and not as timid as her. Hanabi, are you ready? Hinata urged as it was getting late. Well, it's almost there. There was a crackling sound of something falling in the room. Hinata pulled away to her sister's room. Are you okay? Widened. Obviously she liked it very much. Thank you. It's so beautiful. I like it. Hinata was also happy that her sister was so happy. Let's go. Yes. Hanabi specially wore her favorite yukata today and went out holding her sister's hand. Hinata, on the other hand, was wearing her usual clothes and was pointed at by Hanabi all the way from her home to the gate of the Hyuga clan was already waiting. Ninji Nini. They both shouted together. Young lady, Niji addressed them respectfully. The clan leader asked me to go with you. In fact, Ninji has already gone out again and returned. He went to Shianchin and told him not to wait for him and to act separately. When the invited teenagers all headed towards their destination at about the same time, the restless guys began to take action touch in order to avoid causing trouble. The Jonin are someone you can't mess with. In order to save trouble, they set their sights on ordinary ninjas with no background, such as Hiruno Sakura and Rock Lee. But the boys and girls were traveling together, which made it difficult for them to find the right opportunity to take action. Finally, when they were getting closer and closer, someone couldn't help it. Sakura is with the Ino Shikajo team. When strange ninjas blocked their way with malicious looks on their faces, Shikamaru saw their purpose and protected the two girls behind him, and quietly kept a safe distance away. At the same time, Lee, who is with Shianchin, was also blocked. Today is a day of food poisoning and heat stroke. Chapter 368. Shikamaru protected the two girls behind him, and he remembered what his father said to him before he went out today. He originally thought that his father was just making a fuss out of nothing. After all, the Nara family was a large and aristocratic family, and no one with any brains would choose to attack him in Konoha at this time. I didn't expect that I would actually meet such a brainless guy. No, It's not hard to see that their target is Sakura, that is, there's brains, but not much. If you don't want to suffer, just hand over the pass. The visitor hid his entire face under his hat. It's hard to tell where he's from. As his strength was unknown, Shikamaru did not dare to act rashly. He quietly cast glances at Choji and Ino. The latter understood and held Sakura's hand tightly. Shikamaru swelled up and rolled up, rushing towards the enemy. Ha, just a trifle. The man sneered and dodged easily. But when he was about to take the next step, he froze and couldn't move. He looked down and found that the shadows of the two people were connected together. Huh? The ninjutsu was completed and Shikamaru breathed a sigh of relief. But he did not let his guard down, because he could not hold on for too long. He could only pray that there was an Uchiha patrol nearby and pray that they would get here soon. I mean, I just came out to attend a barbecue party, why did I encounter such troublesome things? Shikamaru looked up at the sky dejectedly. Shikamaru is very self-aware, and when he says that he can't last long, he's not being modest. The attacking ninja was obviously no good, and his strength was definitely higher than Shikamaru's. In less than a minute, Shikamaru began to lose control, but this short 1 minute was enough for the girls to run far away. He chose the right moment and made several moves that were not very harmful but extremely insulting before the ninjutsu was broken. Then, when he felt the restraints were untied, he immediately picked up the unconscious Shikamaru and ran away. The enraged ninja obviously didn't care about his original intention of making a big deal out of it. He chased while making hand seals. Huge water bombs were coming towards them. Shikamaru dodged it slowly. Similarly, he curled the corners of his mouth and simply stopped after keeping a distance. There was a loud noise here, and before another water bomb was about to rush towards them, it was cut in half. The patrol ninja wearing the Uchiha family crest arrived at this moment, and Shikamaru was completely relieved. Fortunately, he made it in time. Shikamaru was deliberately trying to provoke his enemy, which was unwise, but it was the best way to do it at the moment. After all, only by making a big noise can they be discovered quickly. At first, Niji didn't understand why the clan leader wanted him to escort the two young ladies. It wasn't until I met Sakura and Ino, who were running for their lives, that I realized what was going on. They want to grab the invitation. Niji reacted quickly and looked in the other direction with worry. Brother Niji, we are safe with Ino. Sakura. Hinata saw Niji's dilemma and took the initiative to speak, and this place is very close to Naruto's house. After weighing it for a while, Ningsi gave up. No, my current mission is to escort you to arrive safely. But his clenched fists told of his unwillingness. Then let's go find Bion and Xiaoli together. Ino took over the conversation. If they are really in danger, we have strength in numbers. After hesitating for a few seconds, Niji nodded and led the way. He knew where they would pass. The moment he was surrounded, Shianshin took out a flare on his body and fired it into the sky. The consequence of this is that the enemy's attacks become increasingly fierce. As soon as they start, Akune flew straight towards Tenten, and she narrowly dodged it by turning sideways. That was a close call. Shianshin whispered to himself and continued to fight, but the other side had too many people and gradually fell into disadvantage. Shianshin. A familiar voice sounded. Shianshin was delighted. Xiaoli came to Shianshin in an instant and helped her resist the attack. When Niji and the others arrived, they immediately joined the melee. Chapter 369. Niji and Rock Lee are a team every day and they work together in perfect harmony. Sakura and the others have known each other for so many years and have practiced together a lot. Even though they rarely practice together after graduation, the tacit understanding they have built up over the years still exists. The complementary combination of long-range attack and close combat left the boys and girls with no loopholes. Hey, this isn't a good situation. They just wanted to grab the invitation and didn't want to make a big deal out of it, since so many little ghosts are gathered together. Just grab them all. But those two are the Byakugan from the Hyuga family. And there are other big families too. They couldn't afford the revenge of the big families. They just wanted to get in and build some connections, but they didn't want to get themselves involved. Things have come to this point. Do you still want to back down? Turns out that he really came here for the invitation letter. In this case, it must not be stolen. What if someone really sneaks in and gets hurt? Hey, are these kids crazy? They didn't really want to hurt a little ninjas in Konoha, so they were actually very cautious when fighting, but these kids had no such concerns and beat them all to death. Since they insist on fighting you to the death, don't blame us for being rude. After countless battles, I'll give you one more chance. Hand it over and I'll spare you the pain. Sakura, I know Hinata and other girls were frightened and sweating profusely, but they had no intention of backing down. No. Sakura's forward veins popped up, and she raised her mouth to challenge. If you have the guts, just grab it yourself. Oh, you overestimate your own abilities. I'll start with you. You are the ones who overestimate your abilities. A deep, the smoky voice sounded, followed by a cloud of smoke that surrounded the enemy. There were crackling explosions, and without any warning, the ninja who had just been making harsh remarks fell down. Teacher Asuma. Ino called out in surprise. Well done, kids. Asuma patted Ino's head and protected them behind him. Your party is about to start, let the adults handle the rest. As soon as the words fell, the Uchiha ninjas quickly surrounded boys and girls knew that the teachers would take care of the rest, so they breathed a sigh of relief, picked up the little firework hiding in the tree hole, and walked away together. Before leaving, a certain Uchiha gave him several flares. If he encountered them again, he would send out the signal immediately and the guards around would arrive immediately. But after I left, I seemed to hear an Uchiha complaining about something. Can't we solve it earlier? Why do we have to do the test? I couldn't hear what was said afterwards. The Shin'an from the same period met at the intersection tacitly. Everyone was covered in dust and it seemed that they had encountered similar things. They all looked at the house at the end of the road that didn't look real. What do you think? Are they coming for Naruto or Brother Chi? Their bodies, we're here now, so we're safe after all. Sakura looked at the short road. I often walk back and forth here on weekdays, but I didn't expect that when I took a closer look today. This road had become so long and her female sixth sense told her that there was definitely someone lurking in the dark. Anyway, don't let your guard down. Quickened their pace in tacit understanding. Chapter 370. In fact, they didn't know that there were ninjas from other countries lying in ambush around Qing's house. They were also ambushed while they were ambushing others. As the saying goes, the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind it. Konoha. So, when the kids walked by cautiously, Neji and Hinata even rolled their eyes. The two of them fell silent when they saw the dense crowds of ninjas surrounding the road. Hinata subconsciously looked at Neji, difficult to guess. Neji silently observed everything around him. When the ninjas from other countries made the slightest movement, they were subdued by covering their mouths before they could even make a sound. Hey, don't disturb the children of Konoha's entertainment time. The adults in Konoha are actually quite protective of their own children, and will not show any mercy when beating them. But it is not the same for outsiders, let alone under their noses. Of course, the situation is different during trials. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief when they passed through the invisible barrier. During this period, many people thought they heard sounds, but there was no other movement around. Those who were not as nervous thought that they were just too nervous because of the attack today. Careful ones, such as Shikamaru and Neji, made a rough guess. It was at this time that I smelled the smell of charcoal fire. It looks like the oven is ready. Although he hasn't smelled the meat yet, Shikamaru already feels hungry. He saved some space for the barbecue tonight and even ate 2 bowls less of rice at noon. The door of the mansion was open, and the crackling sound of charcoal fire could be faintly heard. When I walked into the yard, I saw Naruto warming himself by the charcoal fire with a fan. The answer is that he doesn't know how to use fire jutsu, so he can only light a fire and use a fan to control the wind jutsu to evenly roast the charcoal. Then they are divided into individual ovens. Sakura and Ino were the first to roll up their sleeves and walk over. We're here to help everyone is here. Naruto raised his head, and only then did notice that there was a lot of dust on Naruto's face. Naruto, your face is dirty. Hinata was the one who carried a handkerchief with her. She wanted to hand it to Naruto, but seeing that both his hands were busy, she took the initiative to help him wipe it. Yazi was shocked by this scene. He whispered to Shino, Hinata isn't shy about getting close to Naruto anymore? Is this a big improvement? Are they almost there? Shino was silent for a moment before speaking. Is it possible that Hinata has already understood her feelings? Perhaps when they were children, Naruto, who helped Hinata, was like a hero in Hinata's eyes at that time together. Hinata may still be shy when facing Naruto, but isn't that the kind of girl she is, very shy towards everyone? Kiba sighed, is that so? Kiba looked at Hinata, who was able to communicate normally with Naruto, and grinned. Well, this is also good. After all, they all saw that Sasuke was keeping a close eye on Naruto, and only Naruto himself didn't understand. According to this situation, Hinata's love is doomed to fail. Others did not just stand there and watch, and joined in. Seeing that the children had arrived, Qing, who was preparing the ingredients, did not hesitate to be polite with them. Distribute their respective tasks one by one. For example, putting meat on skewers. Mix the seasonings in proportion. And put the frozen drinks on the table, etc. Sorry for the long wait. I started working overtime, so the updates will be late year. Thank you for following me all the time. Chapter 371. Truji's roar was deafening, his face was filled with anger, his eyes seemed to be burning with rage. Let me do it. When Qing came out, he was startled by the sudden roar. He saw Truji angrily driving away Shikamaru and others who were standing in front of the oven. Truji's body was trembling slightly because of anger, and his blood was boiling as if it was about to burst out skewers on the grill. His hands were as fast as lightning, jumping left and right in the air, leaving several afterimages. The movement was like using the shadow clone technique, which was dazzling. Every subtle movement was full of power and passion, as if he was engaged in a fierce battle with a barbecue. Qing could feel Shikamaru's love and persistence for barbecue. Every move he made was so focused and devoted. This enthusiasm infected the people around him, and everyone looked at Shikamaru quietly, expecting him to grill delicious barbecue. The only sounds around were the sound of Shikamaru's boiling blood, the sizzling sound of the barbecue and the collision of flames, and the sound of swallowing saliva. In the hands of Shikamaru, barbecue is no longer a simple food, but a work of art that needs to be carefully crafted. He used his passion and skills to give these skewers new life. Shikamaru's obsession with barbecue has refreshed everyone's impression of him. Please enjoy. Shikamaru smiled confidently and showed everyone his work. Oh. An exclamation was heard. Everybody clapped their hands out of respect and distributed a string of noodles to each person. Tasty. As expected of you, Truji. That's awesome. After receiving plenty of feedback, Shikamaru is full of motivation. But I was very interested in this kind of skewers and barbecue and wanted to try it, so I followed Shikamaru's pace. Under the command of Shikamaru, everyone learned the skills well, except for a few kitchen killers. As time passed, the sky gradually took on a deep color and the sun slowly sank to the west. At this moment, the adults finally arrived here. The mature faces all looked tired, and it was obvious that recent events had really kept them busy. After Kakashi greeted them, he picked out his favorite foods from the food area without any hesitation, just like he was at home, and piled them on a plate before looking in front of Qing. Sanma, sorry. Qing looked at Kakashi speechlessly. Brother, why don't you try something else? Let's eat something appetizer first, that will be good. Kakashi narrowed his eyes and smiled. Then I'll leave it to you. I want to eat something burnt. Burnt. As if the key word was triggered, Truji rushed over from a distance and snatched the plate of fish piled up like a small mountain. Burnt. This is simply an insult to barbecue. I won't allow it. So, the chef for Kakashi's story became Truji. Qing shrugged, indicating that there was nothing he could do. Sister Hong and Senior Asuma, I'll grill whatever you want to eat. Many tables and chairs were specially placed in the yard today so that everyone can rest after playing. Ziddy and Izumo saw the lounge chairs and couldn't help but lie down on them. This is life. The whole person was completely relaxed, lying very comfortably in the chair, like a salted fish, not wanting to move at all. Sensei Katetsu and Sensei Izumo seemed like old men. Naruto brought the grilled meat and drinks and placed them on the table between them. Children will never understand the hard work of adults. Ziddy squinted his eyes, enjoying the gentle breeze blowing past. Hanabi, you can't look for a partner like this in the future, okay? Naruto bent down, leaned close to Hanabi's ear and told her not in a low voice. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 372. Ideal type? This word is a little unfamiliar to Ano and Sakura now. At the very beginning, when they were still little girls, they would be lying if they said they were not moved when they saw Sasuke, a cool boy who is super handsome, had a cool personality and good grades. And it lasted for a short while. However, as time went by, and he was blinded by these two people so many times, his lustful feelings became less aroused. Is Qing the ideal type? That's for sure. He is the dream lover of many boys and girls, but for both of them, the elder filter on Qing cannot be removed. Before she knew Qing, Ino often heard the name Qing from her father. The most common one I hear is something like, "If our daughter could marry Qing when she grows up, I would wake up laughing in my dreams." This kind of words, and in Ino's imagination, the younger generation who knew her father and was always mentioned must be the same age as her father. She doesn't want to marry an uncle. It was not until the day she met Qing in person that Ino's stereotype was shattered and reorganized. She had never seen such a perfect person, so perfect that not a single flaw could be seen. Sink to the bottom of the sea. Ino suddenly realized something. As for Sakura, she now just wanted these two terrible teammates to wait for her for a while. If she stopped, she would be left behind. Would she dare to move? She didn't dare to move at all. "Teacher. Kakashi, where is Sasuke?" Naruto looked around. "In the mountains." "You left him alone in the mountains and came back by yourself?" Naruto pointed at Kakashi with trembling fingers. "Don't say that, Naruto. I still have to go back later." Kakashi patted Naruto's shoulder and enjoyed the freshly grilled sori. "Squeeze some lemon juice on it for a delicious taste." "Teacher Kai. Lee. Enjoy your youth." "Teacher Kai. Plum. What happened to them?" You asked. "No, you don't want to know." Shianshin covered his face. Iruka still acted like an old mother, controlling the teenagers who wanted to drink secretly. "It's 100 years too early for you to want to drink at your age." I had no choice but to give up after being stared at like that. "What's the matter, Iruka? You're all adults after graduating from the ninja school." Asuma held a large cup and clinked glasses with Jiraiya and his son Izumo, who were already drunk. "Don't be busy, Qing. Sit down and have a drink with us. Let the children go to work and come here." Hong propped up her face and waved at Qing. It has been a long time since they have gathered together like this. This opportunity is rare. After all, Qing was still a minor who was not allowed to drink alcohol at the last party down. "As soon as I sat down, a full cup was poured in front of me. Drink." Qing didn't want to spoil fun, so even though he couldn't drink much, he still drank the whole glass. Oh. Not bad." The men's cheers rang out, and the cups that everyone had just been put down were filled again. By the time Naruto found out, Qing had already been persuaded to drink several cups. Hey. Teachers, what are you doing? Uncle doesn't drink." Naruto hurried over. "Nonsense, I think Zio King's traffic is very good." Asuma lit a cigarette. Qing's expression didn't change at all, and he looked no different than usual. But as he drank cup after cup, Hong also felt that something was not right. She pressed Qing's hand. "Little Qing." Qing was stunned for 2 seconds, then turned her head and smiled as if she had just heard it. "Sister Hong, what's the matter?" The speech slowed down, and Hong was sure that Qing was drunk. Chapter 373. The slow-speaking pace and softer voice than usual seemed to be soaked in drunkenness, becoming soft and sticky. The call of Sister Hong was like an arrow piercing Hong's heart, making it tremble. She glared at Asuma, gently replaced the beer in Qing's hand, and said softly, "Be good, don't drink it for now." Hong's tone unconsciously became lighter, as if she was afraid of disturbing Qing moment, then nodded obediently. However, the next moment, tears fell silently, and big tears rolled down the long eyelashes. Kakashi and Asuma's expressions froze instantly. Naruto was even more at a loss. He frantically tried to catch his uncle's tears with his hands and asked anxiously, "Uncle, does it hurt anywhere?" And his pupils seemed to be shaking when he vaguely saw Naruto's expression that was about to cry. He hugged Naruto directly. Her tone was full of grievance. "Brother, I miss you so much." When these words came out, everyone trembled, especially Kakashi. Naruto doesn't hate his father, and he even feels a little proud after knowing that he is the hero of the village him when he woke up from a nightmare. The noisy boys and girls seemed to notice the atmosphere here and quieted down. But suddenly, Qing pushed Naruto away again, frowning. "No, brother is not awake yet." The words "not awake yet" made Kakashi and the others heartbroken. Sleeping underground doesn't mean not waking up yet? This made them wonder, has Qing been convincing themselves like this all the time? Convincing himself that Minato and Kushina were just asleep. Naruto, who was pushed away, took a step back and formed hand seals to perform a transformation jutsu. He became what he looked like when he was 6 years old. At that time, Naruto was carefully raised by Qing and had grown into a little chubby boy. It was the time when Qing loved him the most. Sure enough, Qing grinned and said, Little Naruto uncle is back. Naruto nodded vigorously. Welcome back. I missed my uncle so much. After being in a daze for a while, Qing finally noticed the situation around him again and was stunned for a moment. Why are you all here? Asuma didn't know how to respond to this and pushed Kakashi out. Kakashi scratched his cheek. Naruto said he wanted to have a party at home. Ah, I see. Qing looked around and saw that everyone was there. He rubbed Naruto's head and said, then little Naruto, go play with your friends. At this time, the adults here discovered that the boys and girls over there had all turned into little radish heads. Because he was not tall enough, Shikamaru stepped on the box to grill the skewers. Qing was shocked. Hey, little Dingsy, come down, let the adults do this kind of thing. Qing stood up, but he was dazed and swayed for a moment and couldn't stand steadily. He was supported by a man with a strange face. Although it was a face he had never seen before, Qing remembered the aura around him and the smell of the man. A smile spread from his eyes, but just as he was about to speak, his mouth was blocked. Although Qing was puzzled, she nodded and said, I'll ask you to take care of the children. After leaving these words, Qing was carried away by the man hooking her arms around the man's neck. Iruka, who was half drunk, froze in place when he saw this scene, as if he had been struck by lightning. Kakashi, Hong, looked at the two people leaving with an ambiguous gaze. Asuma, on the other hand, was not on the right situation. Who is that? Do you know him? But then, the arrival of Sandai, Uchiha and others diverted their attention. Chapter 374. Despite Naruto's kind invitation to play with everyone, Zin was somewhat moved, but he finally chose to hide away alone. Looking at the lively atmosphere in the yard, Zin felt extremely uncomfortable, as if he was an alien who didn't fit in. Mr. Kai's condition also looked wrong. Standing face to face, Itachi stared at the boy, then passed right by him to his knees, gasping for breath, sweat drenching his back. He couldn't believe that this man's inexplicable hostility towards him was just out of jealousy. He didn't even notice when the illusion came upon him. Qing was taken back to their room by Itachi, and Itachi also untied the transformation jutsu on his body. It's still refreshing to see familiar faces. His handsome appearance, every detail touched Qing's heart directly. There was no hidden possession in her tone. Itachi knew all the children who had been to this house, but he had never seen the one just now. In other words, it happened recently. But they had just met and had been separated for less than 2 days. And Itachi had never heard Qing mention such a person. Perhaps before he really got Qing, Itachi could still tolerate hanging around him. But now he wanted to lock the person up by his side. Of course Itachi knew well very that such a thing was not allowed, and now, he has the power to act coquettishly with this person even more unscrupulously. Qing was confused and wanted to speak, but his mouth was blocked. The familiar kiss, the familiar taste, something that had happened many times every day in the past few days had made Qing begin to respond skillfully. They didn't let go until they both felt their lips go numb. Qing had tears in her eyes. Last night is fragmented. Where did the blackout begin? I forgot. It's just that I seem to have dreamed about Naruto and his friends when they were kids, and felt a little nostalgic. I also had a blushing and heart-pounding dream. But when Qing was about to turn over and get out of bed, his whole body froze. A familiar feeling somewhere made his face flush. It turns out, the blushing and heart-beating thing was not a dream, but it really happened. Lying next to me, the person who seemed to have held me all night left at dawn. Qing held his waist and looked at the note left behind. Chakra covered his waist and it took a while for him to feel better. He couldn't help but sigh that jealous men were so terrible. Qing left the room only after he was able to straighten up and walk freely. As soon as I went downstairs, I saw Zin cleaning the yard. Few people simply slept on the tatami in the living room. Anyway, it's summer now, so there's no need to worry about catching a cold. When he saw Qing, Zin's eyes involuntarily fell on the exposed shoulders. Leaning back, a simple tooth mark reveals a lot of information. Qing followed his gaze and looked over her shoulder, and was stunned. I felt a little helpless about Itachi's marking-like behavior, but I just let him go. Wash my face and come back. Qing tied her hair up. His body was dry and clean. Obviously he had been cleaned. The letter did not mention what happened last night, just pretending that he saw nothing and heard nothing. Chapter 375. By the time everyone who stayed at home woke up, it was almost noon. With the help of Zin, Qing prepared lunch. Originally wanted to go home and wash up, but when they smelled the smell, they all stopped. No one mentioned a word about what happened last night. But everyone were all stunned when they saw the teeth marks on Qing's shoulder. Especially the few Chunins led by Iruka today. The news that Qing already had a girlfriend spread throughout the village. Some people might say, haha, another rumor like that. If it were true, I would poop while standing upside down. However, according to an eyewitness, this time it's true. Qing's body is marked. He must be a very possessive everyone person. Yet they still did not believe. Qing had changed into high-necked clothes when she went out, so nothing could be seen. However, the uncle who often delivered food to Qing asked directly, Boss Zyuchi, I heard that you have a mysterious partner again? When are you going to clarify this time? However, he didn't expect that Qing not only did not refute it, but directly admitted it. It's not a rumor, I am indeed in a relationship. Lucky to be noticed by Mr. Zyuchi, I'm just lucky. Qing didn't go into details afterwards. Immediately afterwards, the sound of a girl crying loudly was heard from the warehouse of the vegetable stall. Qing himself admitted that he was in love. It is said that on this day, the entire Konoha was filled with crying sounds. But none of this has anything to do with Qing. The finals will begin tomorrow. Naruto didn't feel anything. On the contrary, Qing was much more nervous than him. Qing got up early in the morning to prepare a nutritious breakfast. She woke Naruto up on time, asked him to wash up and have breakfast, and then went to the final with him, bringing his lunchbox. The auditorium was already full, and people were watching the game. The local people of Konoha burst into tears when they saw Qing. Qing, you have no heart. I love you so much, how can you love someone else? Who had gathered towards them all looked at Qing. Qing scratched his face helplessly. It's true that beauty is a disaster. Asuma couldn't help but tease, this is youth. Love is the synonym of youth. Kai gave Qing a thumbs up. Although I don't know who you are in love with, I wish you all the best from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Senior Kai. Qing felt embarrassed to be mentioned in front of so many people. When the time is right, I will bring him to meet everyone, since they are really together. Qing has no intention of hiding anything. He admitted it openly, even though he knew that this period of time would probably bring him a lot of trouble. Some of the outsiders had never heard of Qing and looked puzzled. The person next to him happened to be a local of Konoha and one of Qing's admirers. So, he told the guests about his dead love through a thick filter. He also a teacher in charge. No, but that's not the point. The point is, hurry up before 12 o'clock. Today I want to tell you about the scams that people around me have encountered. There are many online scams, so whether you are shopping online, don't do it privately. Be sure to stay vigilant and use the platform. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.